morning everybody. I am Rama Devi, working as a chemistry faculty in Target English Medium School at Kadipatri. Today I am going to discuss this video for 10th class students. In past video I clearly explained the textbook question and answers. Total 10 questions are completed in past video. Now remaining question and answers today we are going to explain in this video. That is the first question. After 10th question, the first question is that is 9th question. From back onwards we are explained. That is 9th question. What is the 9th question means? What is NLX method? How it is useful to for ourselves to writing the electronic configuration of an atom. What is NLX method? The question is, what is NLX method and how it is useful? What is NLX method and how it is useful? That is the question number 9. Okay. Already I explained in the past videos what is NLX method, how it is useful in writing the electronic configuration of an atom. Once again I will rewind that one, the method. NLX method is a shorthand notation of an electronic configuration. The NLX method is a shorthand notation of an electronic configuration. NLX. Here N is the principal quantum number. Here N is the principal quantum number. L is the angular momentum quantum number. X is the number of electrons. The first point is NLX method is a shorthand notation of an electronic configuration. Second point is in NLX method N denotes the principal quantum number. L denotes the azimuthal quantum number or angular momentum quantum number. Here X is the number of electrons. Okay, so the NLX method is a very important shorthand notation. For example, we have taken the first point, second point completed. Third point, example, we have taken the hydrogen. Hydrogen is example. The atomic number of hydrogen Z is equals to 1 and electronic configuration is 1s1. So here you can see carefully, you observe carefully. Here 1 is the N value, that is here the N value is 1. The principal quantum number is 1. Here the L value is 0, that is equals to s orbital. Here X value is 1, that is number of electron. This is the principal quantum number and this is the angular momentum quantum number and this is the number of electrons. So by taking the hydrogen example, we can clarify it. Based on NLX method, we can easily write the electronic configuration of an atom. Not only hydrogen, we can take the helium also. Helium, Z is equals to, that is Z means atomic number is equals to 2. The electronic configuration of helium is 1s2. The electronic configuration of helium is 1s2. Here same, the one value is nothing but principal quantum number. Here the S is nothing but angular momentum quantum number, that is L value. For S the L value is 0. Here 2 is number of electrons. Are you understand? Helium can hold the 2 electrons in 1s orbital. Hydrogen can hold only 1 electron in the 1s orbital. Why? Because the hydrogen atomic number is 1, the helium atomic number is 2. Okay. So these are the 4 points about the NLX method. And what are the uses of this method means? What are the uses mainly? First one, without any confusion, we are easily write the electronic configuration of an atom. Without any confusion, we are easily write the electronic configuration of an atom. That is the first point, uses. And second point, we are easily recognized which orbital can hold and how many electrons. Which orbital hold and how many electrons. We are easily recognized depending upon the NLX method. It is a shorthand notation. Actually, each and every atom must be possess certain electronic configuration. That electronic configuration is easily notated by the NLX method. So without any confusion, we are easily write the electronic configuration of an atom, and by seeing the NLX method, we are able to say that which orbital can hold how many electrons, can hold how many electrons, and also we can easily say the atom principal energy levels by seeing the NLX method. The atom's principal energy level, that is the first number is the principal energy level. L is the angular momentum quantum number. X is the number of electrons. Means by seeing the NLX method of an atom, we can say the principal energy level of the each and every atom or shell. Are you understand? This is the NLX method and how it is useful. Question and answer. Next question is, what is the significance of the three quantum numbers? I'll write there Q dot NOS means that is quantum numbers. Quantum numbers. What is the significance of three quantum numbers? Means we can. This is the 4 marks question. You write the three quantum numbers names and the explanation also. What is the significance of three quantum numbers? Significance nothing but importance. Significance nothing but importance of the three quantum numbers. They are asking what is the significance of three quantum numbers? Nothing but importance of the three quantum numbers. Three only they are asked. Actually we have how many quantum numbers? 4. Principal quantum number, angular momentum quantum number, or azimuthal quantum number. Next magnetic quantum number. Next spin quantum number. You write first main 3. No need for spin quantum number. They are asking 3 means you will write 4 also, no problem. Why? Because there is a one good impression upon you if you write the 4 quantum numbers. Principal quantum number is denoted by the small l. Angular momentum quantum number was denoted by small l, introduced by Sommerfeld. Magnetic quantum number was denoted by small m and subscript small l, ml, that is introduced by Landé. A spin quantum number is denoted by ms, introduced by Uhlenbeck and Goudsmit. So these are the 4 quantum numbers, and also with the explanation you must be right. Okay, I already explained in the past video what is the principal quantum number, how it is useful, what is the importance of that number, and also what is the angular momentum quantum number and what is the importance of that quantum number, and also what is the magnetic quantum number and importance of the magnetic quantum number, and also spin quantum number, what is the spin orientations of an electron. There are 2 types of orientation. One is clockwise orientation, another one is anti-clockwise orientation. Clockwise orientation is indicated as upward arrow, the symbol is upward arrow. Anti-clockwise rotation, the symbol is downward arrow. So like that you must be write the 4 quantum numbers along with the explanation. That is the answer of this 8th question. What is the significance of 3 quantum numbers? Explain. That is the question. And the answer also I revealed to you in past video. I explained also. Okay. So our next question is 7th question. What is an orbital? How it is different from Bohr's orbit? What is meant by an orbital and how it is different from Bohr's orbit? What is the meaning of an orbital? You write first orbital definition. What is an orbital? The space or region. The space or region where the maximum probability of electron finding is there. That space or region is known as an orbital. Okay, the space or region where the maximum probability of finding for electron. The maximum probability means where in that space the electron is, most of the cases in that space only electron was rotated continuously. That's why in that space we have to find out the electron in maximum. There is a maximum probability for finding an electron in that space or region. That space or region is known as an orbital. Again I repeated the definition of an orbital. The space or region where the maximum probability of electron finding is there. The space or region is known as an orbital. So we have four types of orbitals mainly: S, P, D, F. G is also there and so on is there. But according to our syllabus, we have to say four types of orbitals are mainly we have. That is the second point. The first point is definition. Second point is we have four types of orbitals are there. Those are S orbital, P orbital, D orbital, F orbital. In that orbitals, we have to find out the electron place. The maximum probability of electron finding place is known as an orbital. So, next question is how it is different from the Bohr's orbit. Orbital, how it is different from the Bohr's orbit. What is the Bohr's orbit? Bohr's orbit nothing but the electrons are rotated around the nucleus in a circular path. Answer. The electrons are rotated around the nucleus in a circular path. The electrons are rotated around the nucleus in a circular path. That path is known as the orbit. The path is known as the orbit. The electrons are rotated or revolved around the nucleus in a circular path. That path is known as an orbit. How it is different from the orbital means orbit is nothing but it is only a circular path which is having the electrons. But orbital is nothing but there is a maximum probability for finding the electron. For orbital nothing but we have to find out the electron in a particular place. That place is nothing but orbital. But in orbit, the electrons are revolved continuously around the nucleus. But in orbit, we cannot find out the place of electron. We cannot find out the place of electron. Where? In orbit. But in an orbital, yes, we can find out the 99% of electron place or region. Are you understand? In orbit, just electrons are revolved around the nucleus. But there is no chance to finding the electron place or region in an orbit. But in the orbital, yes, there is a maximum probability for finding the electron where it was. That is nothing but orbital. That's why I said Bohr can introduce the orbits only. But Erwin Schrödinger was introduced the orbital concept. Erwin Schrödinger was introduced the orbital concept. Yes. That is the seventh question and answer. Next, sixth question is what is absorption spectrum? I already explained to you in emission spectrum. On the term of emission spectrum only, I explained to you what is absorption spectrum also. What is meant by the absorption spectrum when it was formed means the absorption spectrum nothing but when electron jumped from lower energy level to higher energy level. When an electron jumped from lower energy level to higher energy level, that electron gains are absorbed certain amount of energy. When electron jumped from lower energy level to higher energy level, that electron gains are absorbed certain amount of energy, and that energy was formed in the form of a packet, nothing but in the form of a energy packet. That each energy packet is known as the quantum. That a pack of quantums, nothing but a pack of energy packets, a group of energy packets was formed in the form of a spectrum is nothing but absorption spectrum. When electron jumped from, again I repeated, when electron jumped from lower energy level to higher energy level, that electron absorbed certain amount of energy. That energies are formed in the form of energy packet. Each energy packet is known as the quantum. Each energy packet is known as the quantum. That group of energy packets or group of quantums are formed in the form of spectrums is known as the absorption spectrum. Absorption spectrum. When electron absorbs certain amount of energy to form the absorption spectrum. When electron releases certain amount of energy to form the emission spectrum. That is the answer for sixth question. Next question is, that is the fifth question. In that total E questions are there, A, B, C, D, E. What is the first question A? How many maximum number of electrons in a principal energy level or principal energy shell? how many the maximum number of electrons in a principal energy shell are level. So each principal energy shell contain their suitable number of electrons. We can say the answer. Each principal energy level contain a suitable number of electrons. A fixed number of electrons. We can write in the place of suitable. We can write the fixed number of electrons. Fixed number of electrons. That is in K, having the maximum number of electrons are 2. In L shell, having the maximum number of electrons are 2 into 2 square, how much? 8. In M shell, maximum number of electrons 2 into 3 square. 3 3s are 9. 9 2s are 18. In N shell, the maximum number of electrons how many? That is 2 into 4 square. 4 4s are 16. 2 16s are 32. So each principal energy shell contains a fixed number of electrons. It cannot be changes even though the energy level is jumped from lower to higher or higher to lower. Are you understand? So each principal energy shell contains a fixed number of electrons. For example, a K shell contains 2 electrons. Any K shell contains only 2 electrons in any atom. In any atom. L shell contains only 18 in any atom. M contains the 18 electrons. N contains the 32 electrons. These are the fixed number of electrons in each and every principal energy level. Principal energy level. Okay, yes. Next, B is there. What is the B? How many maximum number of electrons in an orbital? How many maximum number of electrons in an orbital? Same question. In the place of principal energy level, we write that. How many maximum number of electrons in an orbital? Yes. How many maximum number of electrons in an orbital? This question is also related to the Pauli's exclusion principle. This question is also related to the Pauli's exclusion principle. This question is indirectly asked. An orbital can hold only 2 electrons. Explain. This statement is proved by which principle? Same question is asked indirectly. Are you understand? So, how many maximum number of electrons in an orbital is a question? But same question they are asked indirectly. An orbital can hold only 2 electrons. This statement was proved by which principle they are asked? That is which principle? Pauli's exclusion principle. Pauli's exclusion principle. It can say the orbital occupancy. It can say the orbital occupancy. So, we can say the answer is an orbital can hold only 2 electrons. An orbital can hold only 2 electrons. An orbital can hold only 2 electrons. S orbital only 2. In B, 2 only. But 2 into 3 sublevels are there, total 6. In D, 2 only, but 2 into 5 sublevels 10. In F, 2 only. How many? 7. So 14 electrons. 2 into 1, 2 only. Have you understand? In S, only 1 sublevel, only that is only sublevel, only 1 box. But in P, how many boxes? 3 boxes means 3 subshells are there, total 6. In D, 5 subshells are there, 2 into 5, 10. In F, total 7 subshells are there, 2 into 7, 14 electrons. Are you understand? So, an orbital can hold only 2 electrons. This statement is also related to the Pauli's exclusion principle. The Pauli's exclusion principles can mainly give the point is orbital occupancy. Nothing but an orbital can hold only 2 electrons. In S orbital only 2 electrons. In the P, again 3 sublevels are there, so 2 3s are 6. In the D, 5 sublevels are there, so 2 5s are 10. In F, 7 sublevels are there, so 2 7s are 14 electrons. This is nothing but number of electrons in each and every orbital. In G also nana 9 are there, nana 2 9s are 18. You also remember. In G also you remember in G. 2 into 9, 18 are there. G. Next question is C. How many subshells are present in a principal energy shell? How many subshells we have? In a principal energy shell, how many subshells are presented? 4 subshells. 4 types of subshells. 4 types of subshells. Answer is 4 types of subshells are presented. Those are S, P, D, F. In S, 1 to 8S. In P, 2P to 7P. In D, 3D to 6D. In F, 4F to 5F. So, there are 4 types of subshells are presented, that is S, P, D, F. In S again 1 to 8S, P 2P to 7P, D 3D to 6D and F 4F to 5F. These are 4 types of subshells are presented in a principal energy shell. Our next question is, how many maximum number of electrons in a subshell? The maximum number of electrons in a subshell, how we can decide it means, yes, we can decide it. The maximum number of electrons in each subshell depend upon one formula, that is 2 into 2L plus 1, that is 2 half 2L plus 1. We have decided that maximum number of electrons in each subshell is 2 into 2L plus 1. If L value is 0, that is belongs to S orbital, that value is 2 into 0 plus 1. 2 into 0, 0. 0 plus 1, 1. 2 into 1, 2 only. So, if L value is 1, that is belongs to P. 2 into 1 plus 1. 2 1s are 2, 2 plus 1, 3. 2 3s are 6. If L value is 2, that is equals to D orbital. 2 into 2 plus 1. 2 2s are 4, 4 plus 1 5. 2 5s are 10. If L value is 3, that is equals to F orbital. 2 half. 2 into 3 plus 1. 2 3s are 6. 6 plus 1 7. 2 into 7 14 electrons. Are you understanding? The maximum number of electrons in each and every subshell was depends upon one formula, that is 2 half 2L plus 1. 2 half 2L plus 1, that is 2 into 2L plus 1 formula. Here L is angular momentum quantum number. If L value is 0, that is S orbital. If L value is 1, that is P orbital. If L value is 2, that is D orbital. If L value is 3, that is F orbital. Okay. Our last question is, how many spin orientations are possible for an electron? How many spin orientations are possible for an electron? For a particular electron, how many spin orientations are possible? 2 spin orientations are possible. How many? 2. 2 types of spin orientations are possible. One is clockwise orientation. Another one is anti-clockwise orientation. Anti-clockwise orientation. Clockwise orientation value is plus half. Anti-clockwise orientation value is minus half. Clockwise orientation symbol upward arrow. Anti-clockwise orientation symbol downward arrow. There are 2 types of spin orientations are possible for One is clockwise orientation. The value for clockwise orientation plus half. The symbol is upward arrow. Next, anti-clockwise orientation. The value is minus half and the symbol is downward arrow. These are the two possible orientation for each and every electron. Next question is, what information does the electronic configuration of an atom provide? What information does the electronic configuration of an atom provide? Yes, by seeing the electronic configuration of an atom, we can understand what? That is the answer. By seeing the electronic configuration of an atom, we can understand what? By seeing the electronic configuration, we can know what type of information. Yes. You can write in your own way, no problem. As is, what we said also no need to write, but the concept is important. For example, by taking the hydrogen atom, atomic number is 1, electronic configuration 1 is 1. So, by seeing this electronic configuration, we have concluded what? We can know what information or we get the what information. Yes, the first point is the electronic configuration of an atom. The electronic configuration of an atom is very important to show the principal energy level, angular momentum quantum number, and the number of electrons for each subshell. Okay, that is the first point. Second point, we know by seeing the electronic configuration, we know the atomic number of an atom. We know the atomic number of an atom. Okay, and we know the number of subshells of an atom. Means we can divide it into shells, A-L-M-N. We know the atomic number of an atom. We know the number of shells present in an atom. And the systematic arrangement of electrons in their suitable orbitals. The systematic arrangement of electrons in their suitable orbitals. In their suitable orbitals. That is the second point. Third point. We know the principal energy levels of each and every atom. For example, for hydrogen, here 1 is the principal energy level. What is the one here? The principal energy level. What is the S here? Angular momentum quantum number. What is the one here? Number of electron. Means hydrogen having only one electron that is presented in the 1s orbital. That information we are clearly get by seeing the electronic configuration. This is asking for 2 marks. You remember the electronic configuration is a very important method to know the systematic arrangement of electrons in their suitable orbitals, and also we know the principal energy levels of the each and every atom, and also we know the principal quantum number and the angular momentum quantum number and the number of electrons. Okay, and also we know the atomic number of an atom. By seeing the electronic configuration, we can count the total number of electrons are equals to the atomic number of an atom. And also by seeing the electronic configuration, we get the number of shells present in an atom. Means we divide it into K, L, M, N. Okay, we can say by saying the hydrogen electronic configuration, here the number of electrons in the hydrogen is 1. Example also you must be right. After completion of this point, you write the example. Hydrogen having only 1 electron, that is atomic number of hydrogen. Here it having only 1 shell, that is K, that is 1s orbital. That 1 electron of hydrogen was presented in the 1s orbital. That 1s orbital of the hydrogen belongs to the K shell. Okay. So it also reveals the number of protons and the number of electrons. Number of protons and the number of electrons. Nothing but the protons number are what? The electrons number is known as atomic number. The protons number are what? The electrons number is known as an atomic number. Here 1s orbital containing 1 electron means it also containing the 1 proton which is present in the nucleus. Are you understand, ma'am? The 1s electron was having the 1 electron means it also having the 1 proton which is located in the nucleus. Okay. You also reveal the electrons number is and the mass number of hydrogen is also 1. 1 minus 1, 0. There is no neutrons are presented in the inside of the nucleus. Only one proton was presented inside of the nucleus and one electron was presented outside of the nucleus in the hydrogen. So the type of information we get by seeing of electronic configuration of an atom. So these are the question and answers in structure of atom. I send the PDF, it is answers totally. I send the PDF file to you. If you have any doubts are there, ask me through the WhatsApp. But don't make a call to me. Just you type the what you have doubt is there through WhatsApp only.